ظبطها. انا طلعت لايف. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. اللهم لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. اللهم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. سبحانك لا نحصي ثناء عليك أنت كما أثنيت على نفسك. أنت المقدم وأنت المؤخر وأنت على كل شيء قدير. In the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the most compassionate, the most merciful, all praise and thanks are due to Him, and peace and blessings be upon His beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He who is guided by the will of Allah, no one can misguide him, and he who is misguided, no one can guide him except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Just a simply quick reminder, I feel really very happy when I see someone writing. There is a beautiful poetic verses, أبيات شعر, says قال العلم صيد والكتابة قيده قيد صيودك بالحبال الواثقة فمن الحماقة إن أسرت غزالة تتركها بين الخلائق طالقة. It's an old Arabic poem. It says knowledge is like the hunt. And the rope that you catch, or the net that you catch this hunt with, basically is the pen. So the one who listens to a piece of knowledge and he does not put it as a note or write it down is like someone who has spent hours of chasing a hunt. After he captured the deer, for example, simply he just releases the deer. After spending 2 hours of chasing to capture the hunt, then just he leaves the hunt. This is the resembling of someone who's listening without writing. So we always tell our students, so please try, do your best, because whatever good memory you think you have, it's impossible. You need to write if you are interested, to accumulate, then review, then write notes, then highlight, then teach. By these steps, you will acquire knowledge. But just listening, okay, alhamdulillah, it's barakah, khair. But it will not enable you to be firm and powerful when you want to give. It's just you take and that's it. Okay? So if you are planning to give lessons, if you are planning to influence, if you are planning to spread the knowledge, if you want to sit in debates, if you want to argue with someone, you want to defend, you need listen, write, review, highlight, teach. Or otherwise, it's just the first step. It's just an advice. I will keep reminding you with this, inshallah. Okay? So alhamdulillah, today I think maybe the 10th. Who's counting with us? 10th, 11th? 10th? MashaAllah. So it's your job to keep reminding us. Today is our 10th session with the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So 2 months and a half, alhamdulillah. Now, last time we started after we highlighted the concept of Alif Lam Mim, al-Huruf al-Muqatta'a. Then we said ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. We started last time and the whole session last time about يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْغَيْبِ. We highlighted the meaning, the concept of a ghaib. And we knew that the ghaib is applicable on many different things, including what? The past and the present and the future. And it includes this dunya and includes the akhirah. So all of these things are part of al-ghaib. فَكُلْ مَا غَابَ عَنَّا. Whatever which is absent is part of the absence. So it's called ghaib last time. On the top of the ghaib, and most important point of ghaib is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which we don't see Allah, we don't witness Allah, but we believe in His existence in other ways. Okay? So last time we highlighted this very quickly, that we have pillars of faith. We believe in Allah, the angels, the prophets, the messengers, and al-yawm al-akhir. and we highlighted some related things. So today we will start with the second or the next verse. ويقيمون الصلاة. If you remember, we said Surah Al-Baqarah is after the opening, the Fatiha we said it is the longest. And it contains nearly like a briefing for everything of the major things in Islam. So and one of the amazing things, if you remember, it gave like a classification for the three main categories of humanity, if you remember. Remember? Believers, non-believers, and hypocrites. Hypocrites with non-believers, they will end up in one category. But however, different characteristics. إن المنافقين كانوا في الدرك الأسفل. They have something special, the hypocrites. Those who claim that they are with you, but in reality, it's not just they declare that we are not with you. No. All the time, but they are. Again, so now Allah is highlighting the characteristics of the first important category, which is the believers. ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى. And we say this book is based on the idea it's for guidance. Because we said the ultimate goal for us to be guided to go to the Jannah. And that's it. So this is the ultimate. We have some sub-chapters, subtitles, sub-jobs, sub-goals, whatever. But the ultimate is satisfaction of Allah and to reside in the Jannah as the end result. So this book is a book of guidance. Then after Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَاب, this great book, okay, is a guidance for al-muttaqeen. After that, he started giving us how to be from the muttaqeen. Number one, يؤمنون بالغيب. Number two, يقيمون الصلاة. Today, we will be highlighting the concept of the second characteristic, which is يقيمون الصلاة. يقيمون الصلاة, أقاموا الصلاة, يقيمون الصلاة. It's mentioned tens of times in the Quran. So it's a basic pillar in Islam immediately after what? After Iman. After Iman. If you don't believe, it is a pillar. إقامة الصلاة is a pillar. But it's completely dependable on a prerequisite, on a precondition. If the prerequisite does not exist, إقامة الصلاة has no meaning. So the core. One of the amazing things, subhanallah, it's like the visa. Now faith or believe, and if you remember last time we say, al-imanu, do you remember? In Arabic we said it? تصديق بالقلب عفوا تصديق باللسان واعتقاد بالقلب وعمل بالجوارح والأركان. When we say faith, we are not talking about a feeling. We are not discussing a wishful thinking. We are not talking about a philosophy in your intellect. No. We Muslims, when we say faith, believer, we are talking about someone who adapts, who have something which is declared openly, plus it's applied accordingly. Otherwise, the faith is not complete. Okay? Now, this is the basic. After that, now إقامة الصلاة. إقامة, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving of those al-muttaqeen. To give you very quick two examples. It's like now you could be inside Canada illegal. Is it possible? Is it possible just to come through any illegal way? Okay. In theory, physically, you are on the land of Canada, but you are not legal. Do you have a right to go to hospitals with OHIP? You don't have it. You have no visa. No. What is the visa? The visa is the permission for you to be allowed legally to be here so that you can enjoy all benefits, and you have to do all the duties. True or false? If you don't have the visa, you can be here, but you are illegal. No benefits. As if you are not here. True or false? That's why. This gives you an idea. Sheikh, if someone is doing something very good, but you know, he's mulhid. What? MashaAllah, he's very nice, but he's an atheist. What kind of ajr he might be getting in the akhirah? Nothing. Allah, where is the mercy of Allah, Sheikh? Habibi, he has no visa. But you know, no visa. Please go and obtain the visa according to the conditions. Very simple. Is it complicated? By the way, the beautiful thing of this, that the visa, you can obtain it at any time without paying any price. Just say ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Start to do it. Yeah, if you said ashhadu an la ilaha now and you passed away next 5 minutes, khalas, you are. But please come by law of the owner of the paradise. Another simple example. I was just reading, I think, today in the morning. I read something very beautiful. One of the tough secular Arabs, he was making fun of Muslims. In Arabic, he said, I know someone who is a very tough secular non-believer. He has just donated for orphans $39 million. He did not mention his name, regardless. So someone like this will not go to the Jannah. He was making look, who's doing like him? $40 million, okay? But he is not a believer, okay? Someone replied in a very simple, nice way. He said, if someone decided to go to one of the universities and he has not registered in the university, but he asked about the curriculum and he knew the dates of the exams. So he went and bought the full curriculum, read it very well. He went to the exam. He managed somehow to sit to the exam. He gave the answers. So what degree and what certificate he will achieve? But he answered the questions. He answered. He's not registered, not recognized, not registered. Whatever you do, you will not be graduated. You are not accepted. You are illegal. You are as if you don't exist. We don't care what you have read. Go and register. Go through the legal channel. Why we apply these tens and hundreds and thousands of things in our daily, simple, silly life, when it comes to the deen of Allah, where is the mercy of Allah? Allah told him, come to my kingdom in my conditions. He said, I don't believe in you. Why you are asking me to tell you that he must be rewarded in something he does not accept? Why should I? Why should Allah? Are you with me? So that's why we need, okay, prayer. We'll start, my point is the prayer now. But prayer without faith, nothing. Simply you are just wasting your time. You must be registered legally. You must be registered. Have you paid the fees, tuition fees? Yes or no? Do everything properly, then go and read for the test, then come to sit for the test on the time. Otherwise, you have a problem. But now, if you are registered, look to the beauty of Islam, you have passed the idea that legally you are part of this institution. True or false? But you might do some mistakes, such as you went to sleep and you forgot the time of the class. Could this happen? Still you are registered. It's like making sins, mistakes. Come, apologize, do some assignments, homework, show, promise to do something, blah, 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 whatever. This is repentance. But if you are not registered, it's exactly the non-believer. He's outside the fold of the whole institution. So please don't keep wasting your time with anyone tells you, the one who's doing khair, why he's not registered. Tell him just go, let him register in the university. Okay? Legally. In the institution of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The institution of Allah is Islam. Khalas. Does not accept to be registered. It's not my problem. It's his or her problem. So in the base of this understanding, let's understand يقيمون الصلاة. لاحظوا, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not say يصلون. He said يقيمون. So the difference between يصلي and يقيم الصلاة. And he not said وأقاموا الصلاة. He said يقيمون. Now, literally, يقيم means to establish. As if it's a... you are establishing something. You are building something. When you think about establishment, you think about foundations, bases, okay? And like something that has been established. It's not something that, يقيمون. You could think about a huge building with huge pillars, with roots and foundations, يقيمون. And it's in the sense of continuous, مضارع, يقيمون, which means they are continuously doing this. It's an ongoing process. Now, يقيمون الصلاة. We have many messages. Message number 1. What is the meaning of salah? Salah from the word صلة in Arabic. صلة means connection. Okay? This is the original root verb. It is called in English the radicals or the root verb. Okay, المصدر. صلاة من صلة. صلة to connect or connection. Look at the meaning. So when we are asked to do salah in the literal meaning of lexicons and dictionaries, you are asked to be connected. Connected with whom? With Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Look how simple it is. So you are asked 5 times to be connected in a special manner. Someone might say, okay, so it's be connected. Yes, we have many questions. Why necessarily in this manner? Why not do it in our own ways? It will be lost. If you don't organize something, if we said, okay, we want, mashallah, to do some khair for Dar Foundation here. So we want you to donate. Okay, to donate what and for what? Regardless, just donate. Habibi, this must be organized. You want to donate what? Okay? And for what? Do you want money? You want food? You want clothes? To be brought here? Transfer? Exactly, regardless. What is regardless? Chaos will happen. Fawda. Anything could happen because everyone will explain it in his mind, in his way. So you need to organize it. Why do we have a special manner? Hay'at, للصلاة. We have a specific times, because if you lift it for the people, anyone who's facing any trouble, any problem, he might delete it, he might not. So it's 5 times. It's not up to you and me, with some flexibility. This manner is designed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and commandment to Prophet Muhammad, and Jibreel alayhi salam was sent in specific to teach Prophet Muhammad how to do the prayer. Okay? We have a special hay'at, this special shape. We stand in a certain manner, we recite some certain things, we do the ruku', and we do the prostration, the sujood. It has a wisdom behind it, okay? But however, we need to know the idea behind the concept of the salah, which is salah, to be connected. Why I need to be connected? Let's go to square number 1, faith. We believe that we've been created by Allah. True or false? Allah told us many verses about the purpose of our existence, such as وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. And He told us وَاسْتَعْمَرَكُمْ فِيهَا. And He told us الَّذِي خَلَقَ الْمَوْتَ وَالْحَيَاةَ لِيَبْلُوَكُمْ أَيُّكُمْ أَحْسَنُ عَمَلًا. So we've been created by Allah. We are asked to live and to do imara, to establish this planet Earth and to stay and to do things, and we have ibtila, test. We have difficulties, obstacles. In this journey of life, which could be 10 or 20 or 30 or 40 or 50, up to average of 70 years, أعمار أمتي بين الستين والسبعين. You know, the average of my ummah, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ says, between 60 and 70. So, in this very short life, we human beings, we are consisted of three basic pillars. You and I, every one of us, we have three main basic, let's say, items, if I may put it away, of our components. Three main things which we are consist of. We have a body, power of intellect, aql, and we have the spirits, الروح. Okay? So we have al-aql, wal-ruh, wal-jasad. So while we are living, each one of them needs its type of food. The body is very clear. What is the food of the body? Food. You eat and you drink. The food of the intellect? Knowledge. Read, compare, analyze, write, discuss, dialogue, debate. Number 3, spirit. Here comes the biggest problem for humanity on earth, which is they don't know the true food for the spirit. Alhamdulillah, we know it. It's to be connected with Allah. Now, this heart has its own food. The body has the food. Body needs carbs, proteins. Okay, you need to sleep, need rest. The happiness of the heart, which is the soul now, is to be connected with it. Now the tool, the way, the organized divine tool, device, if I may put it in a way, to be connected is prayer. So it's designed in a way to say Allah, to start preparation. You need to do wudu, cleanse physically and spiritually. Clean, clean, clean. Clean, clean, cleanse, prepare. No dirtiness, no najasa or dirty things, which is, impurity in your body or in your clothes. Direct yourself to the Kaaba, and it's highly recommended. Not, I don't know how to say it in English. قال من المكروه جدا, or maybe some of them consider it haram. I'm not sure from fiqh point of view. قال مدافعة الأخبثين, which means if you feel that you need to go to the washroom and you feel badly, it's highly recommended. Maybe some ulama consider it even haram, not to go to the washroom first and to be released, then make the wudu, come so that you concentrate. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, إذا حضر العشاء والعشاء فالعشاء ثم العشاء. For the non-Arabs, brother. If it happened, okay, coincidentally, without any previous preparation, it happened. The food was prepared exactly on the time of the Isha prayer. And you were hungry, the priority is for your stomach. Wallah, yes. فَالْعَشَاءُ, eat the food, go and pray. Because if you are badly hungry while you are reading, you will be thinking in the chicken, the cheese, the bread, the tomato, the eggs, the omelette. This is what you will be thinking. Maybe you will make the dua, اللهم ارزقني دجاجة, اللهم ارزقني بيضة. You will be, because you are hungry. Subhanallah, how reasonable this religion is. Anyway, so you prepare yourself, you delve into, be connected now by starting Allahu Akbar. This is called Takbiratul Ihram. Takbiratul Ihram. Takbiratul Ihram, basically, it contains an amazing meaning. Takbira, which means when you say Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar means Allah is the greatest. Okay? Al-Ihram, from the word haram, which means by uttering, declaring the word Allahu Akbar, everything which is not related to the salah is haram. Completely prohibited. Such as food, drink, walking, laughing, paying attention to someone, anything. Khalas, you are there just for prayer. Anything else which is not related is haram. That's why it's called takbirat al-ihram. It's the declaration of Allahu Akbar, which indicates you have started that, you have a special status. Whatever that does not relate is haram to be done. Outside, they say the body of the salah. So, we talk about yuqeemون. I'm trying to highlight what do I mean by iqamatus salah. Now, to give the respect for the time, to give the respect for the food of the spirit, which is highly needed. Now, the resemblance of this, it's like going in a journey, long journey in the highway. Now, for example, we are living in Toronto or the GTA, close to Toronto. If you want to go to Alberta, I think it's 5 or 8 hours. Who did it? I have no idea. 8 hours? 5 hours? No. I'm sorry. I'm talking about with car. 3 days. Sorry. Oh, in my mind, the flight. صح. Okay, sorry. 3 days, you are talking about 70 hours. So more than 70 hours of driving, which is a long journey. It's not an easy journey. How many times you need to stop by petrol station? Many times. If you do not do it, you can't, because the gas, the fuel, the power, the energy is finished. It has limitation. Every few average 500 miles, 200 miles, you must stop. What is this? Fill. The same thing. 5 times a day. You go, you fight, someone's attacking you, you feel angry, upset, you read, you look, you eat, you are hungry, you do, you study, whatever. Okay. Oof. Then you come, Allahu Akbar. Hey, be careful. Allah is the greatest. Okay? Don't worry. Continue. Next 3-4 hours, Allahu Akbar again. Go and continue. You have to continue doing this. I'm just trying to highlight the importance, how to get into the meaning. Other meanings now of the salah. Now, it's good to know that in Islam, you know the pillars of Islam are what? Ash-shahadatayn, صح? Which when you declare that there is no God but Allah and Muhammad is His messenger, صح? Then iqamat, then fasting, then zakah, then hajj. Now, look how great the salah is. Now, you are asked once to say it, the shahadatayn, and khalas, it is the visa. انتهينا. We have now salah, som, zakah, hajj. True? Look now. Is it possible for someone to live 70 years without going to the hajj and still he's a Muslim? Yes. There is no security in the road, or no health in the body, or no financial ability to travel. So it's completely cancelled. طيب. Is it possible for someone not to fast, not even one day in his life? Yes. Health problem. Diabetes. And many health problems. Even if he fasts and he hurted himself, he will be a sinful person. 2. Type. Is it possible for you to live all of your life without paying a zakah? طبعا. Most of your life you were a very humble, poor person by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. No zakah. So, 3 main pillars of Islam, you might live fully of life without applying them, yet you are still a Muslim. But, give me one possible case that you can live as a Muslim without salah. Fadl.
If you are a lunatic, if you are a mad.
Okay, you are not mukallaf now. You know not mukallaf? The word mukallaf, he is the one who's in charge and he's holding responsibility before Allah. He's outside of the fold of responsibility. He's not considered. Is there any way? You see, the only time it's when you lose your conscious, okay?
If you declare the shahada and then die.
And yes, it's yes, that's true. If you declare the shahada as a non-Muslim, then you passed away. Which is a very rare condition. But normally, there is no way to be forgiven if you lived as a Muslim without. No way. You have to stand in your prayer with all conditions, such as wudu and direction of the Kaaba. But if you have a health problem, it's no problem. Even if you are urinating on yourself for medical problem, no problem. Still you have to pray. But I can't stand, sit. I can't sit, go down, sleep. I can't move my body, no problem. Do it with your head. I can't move my head, do it with your eyes. I can't move my eyes, do it in your heart. You see, I'm completely, disabled now for whatever reason. I have a car accident. Okay, I'm conscious, but I can't do anything. So there's no need to pray, صح? No, still, it's a fard, it's a compulsory. I have to pray, which means I have to imagine it and to say it in my mind as if I'm doing it as a compulsory act of worship. It's amazing. So this gives you an idea. Easily, you might live 80 years without Hajj, 80 years without Zakah, 80 years without Siyam. Easily. For a simple reasons, by the will of Allah. No forgiveness if you don't pray. This gives an idea about the importance of the prayer. When I talk about ويقيمون, because Allah is praising those of muhtadeen. المتقين. هدى للمتقين. Now we are describing part of how we can understand who are the muttaqeen, plus how we can be from them. Okay? Now, another thing. It's good to know the following. Prayer, it became part of the legislation as a fard compulsory on Muslim Ummah when? Do you know when? Yes, that's true. In the night of Isra al-Mi'raj. But which is as a 5 times on the Ummah, okay? But does this mean that the prayer has not been already compulsory before that in another form? Now, to be honest, now we have different narrations about that. Most of them, they revolve around that from the very beginning, Prophet Muhammad, it was a compulsory to pray twice. بالغداة والعشي, in the morning and at the beginning of the night. Some of the narrations. Some of the ulama said the only, like Ibn Hajar. Ibn Hajar is one of the great ulama who explained and gave a big explanation for Sahih al-Bukhari. One of the great ulama. He's called Amir al-Mu'minin fil Hadith. Part of his words he say, قال لم تكن مفروضة إلا ما وقع به الأمر من صلاة الليل من غير تحديد. سورة المزمل. قم الليل إلا قليلا نصفه أو انقص منه قليلا أو زد عليه ورتل القرآن ترتيلا. They said, but this happened at the very, very beginning, which is generally just have simple part or a third or something of the layl without specification 5 times, 3 times, 10 times. But from the very beginning, they were commanded on top of them, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to be connected with Allah without specific limitations, but do a prayer. Okay, be connected with you, Lord, to show how important is this. Now, to give you an idea, you might be shocked with what Ali is saying. How great the idea of hijab is for us in Islam. Very important, because it's one of the signs to show you who's practicing Islam, who's not practicing Islam. Prayer was a commandment for Prophet Muhammad ﷺ from the very, very beginning of the first days of Islam. Okay? At the very, very beginning. later, the very beginning, not days. While hijab, it was sent as a part of legislation of Islam, either in 5th or 6th Hijri, if I'm not mistaken. Hijri, after Hijrah, which means they lived 13 years in Mecca. Hijab was not, it's not just was not compulsory, it was not mentioned aslan. It was mentioned later, okay? 5th or 6th in Hijrah, which means 13 plus 4 or 13 plus 5 or 13 plus 6. We are talking about average 16 to 17 years out of 23 of the age of Islam with the existence of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Prayer, at the very beginning, it was mentioned to be connected. In the 9th year, it became a compulsory on all the Ummah 5 times. Hijab, it was sent as a compulsory around 16th or 17th or 18th out of 23. This gives you an idea. If your daughter, for example, does not pray and she's not wearing the hijab, where should it's good to go in parallel. But in case we have a problem and we have a time to fix one problem at a time, the priority should be with what? With salah. How many parents, they don't care if their kids, they don't pray, but they might really punish them physically if they don't wear the hijab? Are you with me? I want just to send a message to know the priorities. At the end, all of them, they are compulsory. But I'm giving you sometimes, if we missed the true order, when we have limitations of energy, power, time to fix a number of problems, you need to know what is more important. Like exactly when you say, MashaAllah, this person want to do some khair, no problem. Even he's not a believer, no problem, but let him do khair. Ya ammi, the visa is not there, he's not registered. Please, don't waste the time. Don't tell him about the donation. We are not concerned his donation. We are not concerned in his khair. We are concerned that he must admit that Allah is his Lord. Priority. Don't worry. Later on we will talk to him. Let him do the khair now. No. The priority is for Iman. Finish this file, then handle the second file. This is very clear for us. The same thing, God forbid, if your son does not pray, okay? Or your daughter does not pray, and he has something less important, put the priority for what is more important, which is immediately after the faith, prayer. Okay? The prayer with its spirit, with the full package understanding. It's up. Now, one of the beautiful things that we need to know as well about prayer, it's very important to fix in the mind of our kids that الصلاة عبادة وليست عادة. خليهم يتعودوا على الصلاة. يلا ما شاء الله يوم يتعود عادة. Which means it's not a habit. It's good. For the kid, yes, you need to make it as part of عادة, but you need to fix that we are doing it not just as a routine. It's not just part of our system. We do it and that's it. And this is the same problem happens with our daughters when you fix in their mind that hijab is عادة عربية, not عبادة. It's a disaster. It's an Arabic custom. It's, the tradition of Arabs. No. It's an act of worship. It's a commandment of Allah. You wear the hijab because Allah is the one who commanded. You pray because it's Allah who commanded. That's an act of worship with a special niyyah. You will gain ajr and it has a wisdom and you will gain a lot of khair and spirituality. It's not just part of your tradition. So be careful for your kids, your grandkids. When you tell them our prayer, when you bring them to the masjid, let them gradually be aware of this fact. We come not because it's our tradition. We don't do it because it's our culture. No. It's a worship, which means commandment by Allah. We do it for the sake of Allah. Or otherwise, if you put it, it's like, for example, many Arab countries, including my country, we have a big mistake when raising up our kids. We use the word عيب instead of halal and haram. You know, the عيب, it's similar to say shame on you, which is no, it is wrong. Okay, good to talk about wrong and shame on you. But sometimes when we say that this is not should be done because it's haram, if you put it because it's عيب or shame on you or it's wrong, you know, this is relative. From your point of view, it's wrong. But from my point of view, I don't see it. The people, they vary in their points of view. When you tell that this is haram, commandment of Allah, it has nothing to do with your point of view, or my point of view, or the society's point of view. Are you with me? Many things, societies, they considered to be bad, then they considered to be good. Cultures, yeah, fashions. Anyone who's above 50 here sitting, maybe I can tell, انت below 50 أظن I say. 1, 2, 3, 4. A secret. I think if you remember I was a kid. بنطلونات الشر لستم تتذكروها؟ مين تذكرها؟ انت معناتها above 50. You know? لا وين؟ قد اي وكعب الكندر شو اسمه هذا. It's amazing. I mean, if you go and look to the old-fashioned, you know, pants and trousers in old 50s, 60s, 70s, it was really for us now more than funny, because it's amazing. You know, the end of the trouser, it's I think half meter. Wallahi, it's now it's very funny, but at that time it was the fashion. It was the fashion. The most well-known, you know, for example, singers and actors, I think, okay, anyone who's above 50, شو اسمه ألفيس بريسلي ألفيس إيش؟ ألفيس بريسلي at that time, صح؟ جون ترافولتا. طبعا when I was kid, طبعا هدول الأسماء القديمة. Go and see their way of wearing. You will keep laughing. Wow, how come? Disgusting. This was the fashion at that time. I'm not discussing how they managed to change. This is not my point now. But they say الذائقة, the taste spiritually vary, change. Okay, the people they love, for example, long hair, short hair. Cut Marines, long hair. Beard, no beard. Okay, mustache without mustache. Beard without a beard. Okay, no. So therefore be careful. When you raise up your kids, if what we are talking about has to do with the commandment of Allah, tell him that this is halal, haram, mubah, makruh, as Allah described, or as Prophet Muhammad told us. So should not be connected to the opinion of the people, or the time, or the place, or the... No. It's the command of Allah subhanahu. This is very important, okay? Now the prayer should be fixed in the mind. That's a commandment of Allah and it's an act of worship. It's ibadah. We do it. So therefore, I don't feel shy. I'm not supposed to feel shy that, you know, but no one prays around me. So how come I will do it as if I'm doing... No. Be careful. If he's not prepared will, that is an act of worship and it's a commandment. I'm not supposed even to open not even one simple space in my mind to feel shy when I pray, because you know we are living in a majority of non-Muslims. Public schools, maybe he's the only Muslim. Is it possible that he faces to be, you know, feeling shy? Maybe they, you know, make fun of me now. It's possible. No. You need to raise him up. You are not doing something wrong against anyone. In addition, it's your right. In addition, it's an act of worship. In addition, it's a compulsory. So prepare him by understanding the value of this thing to be fixed with his psyche. As they say, this should be drilled in the psyche, inside, as a part of my identity. Okay? Yes, brother.
Is this time to ask a question now?
Is it what, sorry?
Is it okay if I ask a question now, or would you like me to ask it later?
I prefer later. Okay. Jazakallah khair. Okay? Next point. So now, up to the iqama, we have about half an hour. So I will try to talk, inshallah, 20 minutes. Then I will give a few minutes for the question and answer, inshallah. Okay. Now, When I was preparing, I wanted to send some messages to myself. Many people, they find إقامة الصلاة, which means to keep taking care of the prayer on that time, is very difficult. True or false? Especially Salat al-Fajr. Many people, they can't wake up. They can't. They do their best, but they can't. They don't. Nice, good people, they would love. Practically, they don't. So, even though you know the very famous hadith, maybe I myself at least said it here the last 3 years, maybe 10 times. من صلى الفجر في جماعة فهو في ذمة الله. The one who prays the Fajr as a congregation, جزاك الله خير. In a collective manner, okay, as a congregation, the Jama'ah in the masjid, at home with your wife, with your kids, pray it as a Jama'ah regardless, not necessarily in the masjid, but on time in a Jama'ah, okay? قال فهو في ذمة الله. He's under the full protection, support of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's amazing. Yet, many of us, we don't do it. So I put here a note. I'm sorry to say it, but it's a reminder for myself. What is the percentage of the people who needs a salary for their living simply will not take care of waking up to catch up their work? What's the percentage of people? Nearly above zero. Because simply, if I don't go on time, I will be fired after the second or third or fourth time. After that, no salary, so I will be kicked out. So therefore, by the way, I think you can see people, they start their work sometimes, especially constructions, they start at what time? 4. I mean, they leave their houses at 4. They start work at 5 or 6 in many areas. And many other constructions in the road, okay? It's really very difficult. Many jobs, especially for men. You know, the tough works. Many of them, they start for morning. I'm also asking myself, subhanallah, طيب, Muslims who do not pray, if they work a hard work, they are ready to wake up to catch up their work at 5. The shuruq starts, for example, now, shuruq, it's I think 6:45, if I'm not mistaken. Where is shuruq? 6:49, yes. What? 10 to 7. And many people, they don't pray at all time. But what's the problem? Is the problem that I can't? No. Believe me, you know what's the problem? In my language, in my words, I did not decide to give the prayer the deserved value. It's not my priority in my system, practically. Forget what I claim, what I would love. No, forget that. Practically, whatever I claim, as long as I'm able to catch, forget the work now. Let's discuss universities and schools. What's the percentage of people who do not attend the school and universities on time? Simply they don't care. I mean, they have to care. They will be kicked out from the class. They will be kicked out. They can't pass. They can't attend, especially in the universities. It's not up to you. Wallahi, I don't want to go. No, habibi. If the system asks you to attend, you have to attend. And sometimes I will go and apologize. Please, I will not repeat it. I will put 10 alarms. I will ask my mother to wake me up, or my sister, my brother, everyone. Don't we do this? If I have an important exam, important interview for a very high salary in new job, maybe I will not sleep. So it's good, just a reminder for me, first of all, that all of these aspects, they are part of إقامة الصلاة. When I say يقيمون الصلاة, I understand its importance. I understand فضلها, the great virtue of ajr that I'm receiving. I received that. I realized this ajr and the great value by the fact that Allah decided to make it from the very beginning, and it's before all of other legislations in Islam. In addition to that, you all know, but it's good just to remind you, all, and by all literally I mean all, 99.9999% of Islamic legislations, 23 years, they were revealed on Prophet Muhammad while he was standing on planet Earth, except the Salah. He was taken in the journey of the Isra and the Mi'raj, the ascension, up to the seventh heaven, then he received the commandment of doing the prayer. It's another indication how important it is. Now, another message. Some people might ask a very, very strange question, and it could be funny. Say, يا شيخ, هو الله بحاجة لصلاتنا؟ ليش لازم نصلي? Does Allah need our prayer? Why should we pray? Who told you that Allah needs prayer? قل لن ينال الله لحومها ولا دماؤها ولكن يناله التقوى منكم. Allah غني عنا. Allah does not need our prostration. We do this for ourselves, but Allah commanded us to do it for ourselves, which means when you do it out of respect, you will be saved. You will be gaining the spirit, the spirituality, the power, the peace of mind, the tranquility. You will be Allah's divinity will not be increased by your prostration, and it will not be decreased when you do kufr and you refuse to prostrate. No. At the end result, metaphorically we say it's for Allah. Actually it's for ourselves. Allah commanded us for ourselves. It's His universe. He decided the one who respects my commandment, I will reward him. So at the end, it's you who will be rewarded and benefited. Not Allah is not taking a direct benefit, except which is at-taqwa, which means it's something that it's His decision. You are respecting His command. By this respect, you are rewarded and benefited. Another simple message about someone was asking, while I was preparing, ما سبب ارتكاب المعاصي والفواحش مع الصلاة وخاصة أن الله يقول إن الصلاة تنهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر. You know, it's very well known, the Quranic verse. إن الصلاة تنهى. Now, إن الصلاة, it's a sentence, Quranic verse. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, verily indeed, prayer is designed to protect you from doing evil and bad things and haram things. Can't we witness many people, they do pray and still they are doing fahsha and munkar? What is the problem? You know what is the problem? They are not activating the salah with its full capacity كإقامة. Part of the answers, one of the scholars said, قال لوجود نقص في الصلاة عدم توفيتها حقها التي يجب لها وهي مقبولة أي مسقطة للفرض ولا تجب الإعادة لكن ليست التي يترتب عليها كمال الأجر. There is a gap, there is a problem with the prayer because I'm not doing the full action of the prayer. Full action of the prayer قال أن تتفكر في كمال فضلها, to remember the virtue and how great it is, to remember that you are standing before your Lord, to know that you are asking Him, you are doing for Him. If this is completely deleted from your mind, you are acting superficially, physically, but from inside, it's not activated. Like you have the program on your computer, but still you have not entered the licensed, for example, serial number or the true password. Still it's there. You can use it partially, but anytime it stops. So it's not fully activated. You need to do it properly. And sometimes, why it's not? Because I am having the act of leaking from the container of Iman. You know, for example, one of the good examples, now, let's consider this is a huge container for water. If I'm adding water into this, actually I'm having more water. So the resemblance of Iman is like the water in this container. We have we might lose some of this part because of evaporation. Okay, good. Right. What if I have small taps here? Or some holes that could be allow the water to leak, some leaking. If we have a simple leaking of the water, I am adding the water, but at the same time I have leaking. Okay? So the leaking is less than what I add. So if I added, let's say, 10 liters and the leaking takes every 24 hours just 1 liter, still I have 9. I will lose them in 10 days. Once I add another 10, I can survive for another 10 days. Now the disaster happens when, now I mean the resembling of adding the water is bringing the spirituality, the power, the iman. I'm doing sadaqah, I'm praying, I'm respecting my parents, so I'm adding, okay? This is the container, or this is your heart, the container of iman. The power, on top of it, the prayer, okay? If you have leakage here all the time, God forbid, if you have 10 holes, all of them, they are leaking 24/7. Okay, you do pray, but it immediately disappears. You put 1 liter of iman because you prayed. But unfortunately, you are watching porno sites on a daily basis. You are so tough with your mother. You, God forbid, cheat when you sell and buy. God forbid, you look at everything haram in the streets. So all of this, it takes from... So the prayer has no power to give you the push to tanha al-fahsha, because you have a lot of things that kills, and it takes the leaking from the power that you are getting. So you need to stop this, yes, the leakage, then add as much as you can and do your best to maintain the most of what you have gained and don't lose them easily. So this is just like a simple example to tell you why why the prayer might not be giving me the needed power. Because I need to establish the prayer, iqamah, with the full meaning, plus do my best not to do something which contradicts the prayer. It will lose its value. Wallahu a'lam. طيب. Now, Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad. I think I have finished most of what I had in my mind. Jazakumullah khair. I will answer your question now, then I will stop if I don't have another answer. Tfaddal. Yes, yeah.
So, great, Khalid. I have a question. I'm asking this question because you mentioned leakage.
Yes.
Sometimes the shaitan comes to my mind and it affects my faith. And I was going to ask you this question, but there could be people who are not Muslims taking this question. Okay. You have said to get the Jannah, you need to have a visa. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
But if people who are not Muslim are listening to this watching your video, they would say that means a lot of people are going to hell. What is the population of Canada? How many are Muslims? In the United States? In Europe? You mentioned your friend who 33 years ago accepted Islam, he is one. What is the population of England? How many are Muslim? I'm not saying Christian, but I'm just saying in general, good people. That means a lot of people are going to hell. Now, someone who's not Muslim a non-Muslim would say, for example, where are you from? You're from Jordan? What is the population of Muslims? 90%. Saudi, 90%. Syria, 90%. They will say that this religion is really geared towards Arabs. And this is what a lot of my friends are saying. And sometimes the shaitan plays with my mind. I think you know where I'm going with this. Now, one more comment to take a step to the side. I watched a video on YouTube, and it's like a legit. There was a woman, she was a prostitute. Okay? This is what she did her whole life. She gave a dog, before she died, water from her shoes. Allah gave her Jannah.
She's from the people of Israel and she was a believer.
Okay?
Yes?
That's my first question.
Yes. She was a believer from the people of Israel. Already she's a believer, but a sinful believer. That's why, brother, we need to... Look, let me tell you something, just to make it easy for you. None of us knows for sure who will go as a final destination for the Jannah or the Nar. We don't know, for sure. I mean, in a specific, I can't say this person, well, he is in the Jannah. We don't know, because we don't know the end result before he leaves this dunya, how he will be acting, okay? Generally, it's our faith, because Allah told us, anyone who knew about his Lord and he rejected his Lord, okay, will be punished. Now, is this applicable on the 90% and 25% of X? I don't know. It's not my job, by the way. If you want just to have the peace of mind and to take it in a very easy way, let you and me go back a little bit to square number one. You know what is square number one in this question? You know what is it? The attributes of Allah, which includes Allah is justice, which means no injustice. Don't worry. If anyone who does not know, Allah will not punish him. وَمَا كُنَّا مُعَذِّبِينَ حَتَّى نَبْعَثَ رَسُولًا. Definitely, indeed, we would not have punished anyone unless after sending a messenger. If someone did not receive the message, he will not be punished. What will happen with him? It's not my problem. He is the property of his Lord. So don't busy yourself with this. Brother, believe me, I mean, I'm teaching since 35 years. I remember myself in 1989, which means 32 years from now, I was teaching in a high school. I remember when getting as a very young, teacher for Islamic education, I used to come to the students. Some of them, they looked elder than me. You say, okay? So, and taller than me. So I used to come and say, Ustad, okay, please, the people of Amazon, are they going to the Jannah or the Nar? Excuse me, brother, the people of Eskimo, are they going to them? Some of them, they don't pray. Some of them, they were watching porno, magazines, and very bad with their, with their parents, and they don't care with anything, and their mind was busy with what? The people of Amazon will go where? And they were fighting. Badly fighting. I said, Subhanallah, Ya Allah, what kind of amazing trick that the shaitan was able to play in their minds. He is a Muslim. He does not care with Allah. He's not practicing anything of Islam, and his mind busy is what? The people of Amazon, where they are going. And he's ready to fight Allah in theory, because if there is a possibility in his mind that the people of Amazon might not go to... What's this? Square number one, Allah al-Adl is justice. وَمَا كُنَّا مُعَذِّبِينَ حَتَّى Allah will not punish anyone unless if the concept of إِقَامَةُ الْحُجَّةِ, which means to establish the argument against him or her or them. The one who does not receive, don't worry. Can you imagine? Allah ar-Rahim, He will punish someone if he does not know? Can you imagine this? No. Simply, khalas, the case is closed. But the big question, do we know who knows and who does not know? No. But the one who knows, he knows that he knows. True or false? Can he make fun of his Lord in the day of judgment? Say, Wallah, I did not know. Yes, I can lie at you, you can lie at me, we can lie at each other all the time. We can be hypocrites with each other easily, we human beings. We can't play this dirty game with Allah. So the qaida, the idea, the principle, Allah is justice. Okay? No one will be punished if he does not know. But, don't think that if we thought that he, she, they don't know, necessarily they don't know. This is another question. But she started before you, Marish. I think your daughter, by the way. So I'm sorry. Okay. Yes. Yes, sir.
When you were talking about the time, right? You were talking about time and problems.
Yes.
To follow the religion from the start. And I was just confused. Why are fatwas made then?
Why?
Fatwas?
Fatwa.
Yeah. Why are they made? Because they're made according to the time, right? Fatwas.
Sorry, what's the relation between your question and what I have highlighted?
You told about like no matter whatever fashion goes or whatever things goes, you hold Islam with you. Right?
Okay.
Why are but like it's not like I'm against them. I just want to know what's the difference between.
Okay. Because Islam contains a fixed things and contains a flexible things. Islam it's like a living human being. Now, let me tell you, Islam. I'm resembling Islam with my body now. Do I have fixed parts as part of my body? Yes, bones. Okay? Then we have flesh and skin, and we have joints. Imagine if the bone is so flexible. What can I do? Nothing. So you need principles and fixed things. Allah does exist. Prayer is compulsory. Zina is haram. Alcohol is prohibited. Marriage is the only way of having sexual relation. Fixed. Next, stop. Financial transactions. Flexibility. Okay? Because it varies. We have ups and downs, different ways, different types, different times. So the concept riba is haram. Interest is haram. Which is, okay. The way of transactions, credit card, e-transfer, Bluetooth, whatever, they are all the new, no problem, flexible. You got me? We have values. They are not changing. Okay, lying is haram. Imagine that we are living on the moon now. Let's imagine that now we are in 2100 and we started to live on moon. Can you imagine someone saying, Sheikh, we are so advanced now, we are on the moon, and I think lying should be allowed. Said Sheikh, it has nothing to do with 2000 or 3010. Lying is haram. It's a value. It's a prohibited. Okay? Respecting your parents is a virtue, fadila. It's a compulsory. It has nothing to do even if you are on march. But now, the color, hijab, which means the sitr, okay? Chastity is a compulsory. The color of your clothes, it has to do with the fatwas. The idea is to cover the body, not to use anything to seduce, other sex, males. But now the color, it has to do with the culture, it has to do with the understanding of the people, no problem. That's why people in Africa, they have very bright colors. People in Saudi Arabia, just the black. People in the Middle East, they have mix, half. No problem. So Islam is not just one unit, solid mass. No. I was talking about the things that are not changing, the main principles and values. However, we have flexibility in many other things. Clear? وإياكم. Yes, now, the father.
Time is up, I think.
Time?
Yeah.
طيب خلاص إن شاء الله. This is a fatwa. You see, time is up. Now, جزاك الله خير. Thank you very much. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
الله أكبر.